All right, so I'm pressing my 3/4 inch rocket. That in the background is my homemade air cooler. Real quick, wanted to show you guys. So I made this because it's hot in the garage. Obviously I can't record with this thing because it's super loud, but you can hook it up either to a 12-volt source or a battery like I have here. And then you just pretty much fill it with ice. And this guy blows air, and it sucks in a lot of air too. It's a 270 CFM motor, and it's pretty strong. But anyways, so what happened here was I was using the pressing calculations. I don't have a tube support, and I first tried it. I split the tube at 2500, so now I'm pressing at 1000. All I did was I took a rocket stick and I measured out the 7.5 inch, the same as the tubes. So every time I do my increments, you can see the do not pass line, or the change rammer rather, at the very end, and it's coming up. So I've already pressed a couple increments with this guy. I'm gonna say that it takes a lot of fuel for these. I think I had about 200 grams in here, and it's coming up pretty short now with how much I'm using. But this press makes it so much easier to do this, because trying to hand ram it or whatever definitely wouldn't be easy. And so I just pressed that, and you can see that I have just a little bit more to go. And now it's switched over to the flat rammer. So pretty much I just want to kind of go over it a little bit, how it is, how much fuel you might encounter if you're going to do something like this. But yeah, this setup here is pretty nice because, like I said, it's very quick to switch out and just keep going and going. So let me see. Yeah, I'm coming up on it. I'll just do a couple more increments and then I'll kind of stop right there. I'm not going to press the whole thing because pretty much I've been pressing this thing for a couple minutes now, and it is a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of pressing and stuff, and you know, I just don't really want to record that. I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see me pressing 15 minutes worth of black powder, but there's plenty of room. Like I said, on my ramrod I have a lot of room for the bigger rockets, or if I needed to keep going on the longer rammers. But like I said, it's not needed. Let me crush this up. This granulated black powder is pretty big granules, and it's getting stuck. So because I cut it short, you can see the spindle right there, but that's okay because that's just going to be where the end plug goes. So right there, it's kind of lining up with the change rammer, but whenever you do the increment, it's gonna, trying to get a good angle where you can see everything. Let me turn my GoPro on real quick. I'm trying to get myself out of view. Okay, so about another increment or so, then it'll be time to switch rammers to the smaller one. Like I said, it is using a lot of fuel, so I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna crush that up. I hate when these granules are just too big and it starts getting stuck, but I'm gonna have to start printing or making some bigger batches of black powder to be able to keep up with this. So it is right at the change rammer line right there. I'll just give it a small increment just to be sure, but it is already right there. Time for switching the rammer. So, and you can see it right here. As soon as I put that guy in, it pretty much lines up with it. It's a little bit above, but once you press it, it's pretty much right on with the line right there. If you wanted to, you can do these lines like in a black Sharpie, just to make them easier on the eyes. I mean, you don't need to, but I'll just show you real quick what it looks like. So that's the nice thing about these tools, is it includes the switch rammer lines already. So let's go ahead and put that guy back in. And right there, you can already see that's switch rammer. So whenever you put the next one in, which should be this one, it should line up with the, or it should be above, I'm sorry, this is the do not pass line. You should not be below on the tube. So a normal rocket tube, you'll see that it's pretty, you know, long or whatever, and you'll be able to see that you shouldn't be lower than that. So because it's the next one, I'm gonna go ahead and throw an increment in there just to make sure that we don't bottom out on the do not pass line and then, you know, jam the tool in there. So right there, do not pass, the end of the rocket tube. Sorry, my hands are shaking. I was cutting the grass earlier. My freaking arms are just tired. So you should always remember, anytime you're pressing, obviously with the normal rocket, you don't ever want to see the do not pass line lower than that, because that's going to throw it. Like I said, it's going to mess up your tooling, but I'm pretty good now. I'm going to go ahead and finish pressing this, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like at the end. Okay, so this is the part I wanted to show right here. So you can see that I'm already I'm getting closer to the change rammer line. Well, as I just pressed that last one, you can see where the tip of the spindle is at in there, that little shiny silver part in the middle. So that is the spindle already starting to show that it's going to be time to switch. So right there, yeah, I'm trying to hold it up, my hand is shaking, freaking annoying me. But yeah, that's pretty much it right there. So you can see that it's already beginning to come to the tip of the spindle, and that is when the last part, which would be the flat rammer, comes in. So I just kind of want to do it so I can show you how that looks. So I fill it with my increment. It's pretty much to the top right there. You can already see where it says switch rammer, but let me compact that as much as I can. All right. And you can see that the spindle is barely showing. Try to get it so it's not so shiny. See, the spindle's barely showing. So that is lining up with the tip of the rocket stick. That just tells you the craftsmanship on the way they measure. It just shows you how precise they are at Woody's for measuring, you know, the do not pass lines. Look at that, it's lined up with this guy right here. And you can already see the tip of the rocket spindle right there. Try to get the lighting so it doesn't. The only thing I don't like about this light is that it's super bright and it flashes the hell out of the screen and I can't see anything. So yeah, it's right there. So this next increment should be where I can put this guy in. Now, if I was to do this, you can already see that the do not pass line is already lined up with that guy. You don't want to do that because then I'll bend the shit out of my spindle. So that is why you need to pay attention to these do not pass lines. So because it's already that close to the spindle, I'm going to throw in a little extra because I'm not trying to bend the spindle, obviously. But so we'll get this guy pretty much filled up, and I'm probably going to end up doing like clay on the rest of the way just because I don't really have much room left. But pretty much right there, it's not really lined up with the do not pass line, so that's good. I'll throw a little bit more in there. Like I said, I'm not trying to bend the spindle. And right there, so it's not even lined up with it, which is good. So I'll go ahead and press it. And it is still above the line, which is good. And there it is. So the spindle's gone. And I'll just dump this out so you can kind of see there's no extra. And right there, you can barely see like a little dimple where the spindle would be, but there's no spindle there. So that's how precise, like I said, these tools are, which is very nice. I definitely recommend getting a set. Now, like I mentioned in my last rocket video, if you're a beginner or you're starting out in rockets, start off with the 5/16 at the minimum, maybe even the 1/2 inch 4-ounce rockets. But pretty much that's it for now. And the size of this rocket obviously is missing a piece. It's missing half or about 1 inch of it, but it is a very big rocket and it takes a lot of fuel. So just keep that in mind when you're making these rockets. I'm gonna get a support for this guy so I can press this guy at 2500, but pressing him at 1000 should be okay for that. It's not gonna, you know, cause the rocket not to work. It'll still work even at 1000. I do have supports for my other guys, like my Cohete rockets or my 1/2 inch, but I am gonna get another support for this one because I do need it. I think it's gonna run me like another $100, maybe $150, but it'll be worth it in the end. So all right, that's it for now, and just stay tuned for the next video. All right, so just real quick, this is the end of the rocket. So got my clay already, bulkhead already in there. I'm not going to do a report on this guy. This is just the rocket I wanted to press just because this definitely looks like a really nice, what would you call it, nozzle. You can see the way it is shaped. It's got a very nice taper to it, and it's kind of hard to see without blinding the camera. Freaking hand is shaking. So let's see if I can get it. There you go. Look at that nice concave clay plug in there, and then the black powder, you can see it very nicely inside. Here's the tooling again. You can see that nice taper right here. And that's what creates it. I guess it's supposed to give it like a better thrust for when it takes off, because all my other rocket tooling doesn't look like that. The clay nozzle is always like flat or something, but this one definitely has a nice shape to it, and you can see the black powder go all the way up in there. It's all, like I said, it's up to like right here of spindle, so that right there gives you an idea what it looks like. Got clay everywhere. The spindle goes all the way up to there, so this guy's going to take off extremely fast, and it's going to pretty much be full power by the time it dies out, because there's no extra delay charge in there or anything like that.